Have you heard of the Three Kings? For 7 years now, this ritual has popped up across the web, inspiring both skepticism and wonder. It left many wondering of its legitimacy. In today's video, we're going to discuss what the Three Kings game is, the history behind it, the experiences shared by those who have tried it, and the aftermath of its legacy. On July 10th, 2012, a post was made to the subreddit No Sleep by the user FableForge titled "Please Don't Actually Try This." According to FableForge, the post would explain how users could relatively safely enter a place they called the shadowside. They then detailed a ritual dubbed the Three Kings, explaining how to set up the ritual, what was needed to perform it, and the exact instructions on how to execute it. I'm going to briefly read key points of the Reddit post, but if you want to pause the video to read its entirety, the thread will be linked in the video description. What I'm about to share with you today is one of the many relatively safe ways in which you can access, not quite enter, a place I call the shadowside, and its effectiveness depends on how seriously you take me. Your mileage may vary, refer to title. I won't tell you that you shouldn't be afraid of the shadowside. Chances are you've already seen it after all and merely think it was just a reoccurring dream. I will tell you there is no need to be ignorantly afraid of it though. There is a difference. Ignorance fuels fear, and fear can give that place a lot of juice to run on. You have to be big on preparation if you want to try this. It's like skydiving. If getting it right on your first try is not something you're good at, then this is not for you. FableForge then goes on to list the ingredients necessary for the ritual. A large, empty, and quiet room without windows. A pack of candles and a lighter. A bucket of water and a mug. A fan, 2 large mirrors, 3 chairs, an alarm clock, an active and charged cell phone, a loved one willing to follow along, and a small toy or childhood object with sentimental value. The next part of the Reddit post explains how to properly set up for the ritual before detailing the ritual itself. I won't go into detail about the setup, but the gist of the actual ritual is waking up at 3:30 a.m. using the alarm clock, lighting your candle, grabbing your cell phone, and getting to your setup room within 3 minutes. You're then instructed to avoid looking at the mirrors, candles, etc., and instead stare straight ahead into the darkness. This is essentially where FableForge leaves us, saying, "I won't spoil what happens next. Suffice to say, you won't be alone, and if you have questions, you'll get answers." Now, let's take some time to review what others have experienced during this ritual to put some sort of result into the equation. One of the first people to try the Three Kings ritual was Reddit user Renegade2366, who posted in the original Reddit thread promising to update on their experience. Sure enough, they delivered. On July 11th, 2012, Renegade posted to No Sleep with the title, "My Three Kings Experience." They go into great detail about their experience, and I strongly recommend you read through its entirety by following the link in the video description. To give the general gist, Renegade experienced an open darkness, soon followed by 2 voices murmuring. He communicated with the voices by asking, "Who am I talking to?" To which the voices responded, "Someone who knows, and yourself." Throughout the experience, Renegade is supposedly bombarded with terrible things said by the voices, from past tragedies to present insecurities. Eventually, the ritual was abruptly ended when the fan and candle went out. Now, this is just one detailing of the Three Kings ritual. There are dozens of others explaining their own experiences, but the general consensus seems to be two voices talking to the person performing the ritual about things specific to their life, insecurities, good deeds they've done, bad deeds, etc. Already, I'm forming theories in my mind of possible explanations for this ritual. But before we go into detail on those, let's discuss the ritual's history. I spent several hours researching this ritual, and the only information I could find was posted after the initial Reddit post by Fable Forge. If anyone watching this has more information, please shoot me a message. So, under the impression Fable Forge was the one to create the Three Kings ritual, we can start by trying to find their inspiration. While there is a movie from 1999 titled Three Kings, its plot has nothing to do with the ritual. The same can be said about the manga titled King's Game. On the other hand, I assumed maybe the Three Kings ritual found inspiration from the biblical story of the three wise men, also referred to as the Three Kings. If you're unfamiliar with this story, it's basically three wise men visiting baby Jesus and presenting him with three gifts. Just from this tiny bit of information, we could relate it to the supposed outcome of the Three Kings ritual in that two of the wise men, or kings, share answers with the person performing the ritual, or in other words, the third king. But after researching a bit more and studying the ritual closely, it was clear the Three Kings was also different in that the two leftover chairs were meant for the queen and fool. This is where I came up short on finding more information, inspiring me to look into the history of its poster, Fable Forge. Fable Forge has a Reddit cake day of February 19th, 2007. The user is still regularly active on Reddit, and in fact manages the subreddit dedicated to the Three Kings ritual and other similar rituals, which we'll get into later. Right now, we're going to look into their legitimacy. Before posting their Three Kings ritual post, Fable Forge was primarily active on subreddits with a focus on creativity, art, and writing. Think r/writing, art, we are the music makers, etc. Of course, on occasion, they'd also post something on r/nosleep and similar subreddits. However, starting sometime in late 2011, Fable Forge grew more active on spooky subreddits and even created his own subreddit called Shadowside. Sound familiar? Now, the thing about this subreddit is it's an RPG. This instantly sparks skepticism regarding the origin of the Three Kings. Over the course of the next 6 months, Fable Forge would be regularly active on the Shadowside subreddit, posting RPG characters with other users, creating a Shadowside book, and even creating tarot cards inspired by the RPG. For 6 months, Fable Forge posted nothing in the No Sleep Reddit, instead focusing on this RPG. That is, until July 10th, 2012, when he posted the Three Kings ritual. Now, let's discuss this for a minute. Fable Forge is an avid Redditor who enjoys creativity, RPGs, and anything to do with the paranormal. Is it so out of the question that he'd make up a ritual solely to promote the Shadowside RPG? Not entirely, but let's continue on before forming any concrete theories. On July 12, 2012, 2 days after posting the Three Kings ritual on No Sleep, Fable Forge made a follow-up post explaining the origin of the ritual. The post is extremely long, but the gist of it is, Fable Forge was sent to Juvie and formed a group with other individuals passionate about all things paranormal. The group would meet up at midnight every night in the showers area and do whatever rituals they could think of, or even make up rituals along the way. According to Fable Forge, the Three Kings ritual was born when another member got in an argument with his own reflection. Fable Forge then used this experience to run trial tests of the Three Kings ritual, using numerous fails to define the instructions in a way least likely to negatively impact the individual doing the ritual. Eventually, they perfected the ritual into what it's described as in their no sleep post. Now here's the interesting part. Fable Forge openly admits they don't believe the experience is paranormal, so much as it's a way to experience your subconscious mind. One of their friends disagrees and instead swears it is supernatural and represents figures such as the devil and the ritual user's guardian angel. Personally, I'd have to agree with Fable Forge, but I'll get into that later. For now, let's discuss the Three Kings subreddit. On the same day Fable Forge posted the origin story of the Three Kings ritual, they also created the Three Kings subreddit. Here is the description. A subreddit to share our experiences following any kind of paranormal recipe or ritual, not just the Three Kings. We will not attempt to establish what is true or false, nor to judge anyone's beliefs, but simply respect and support the people who choose to share their paranormal journeys with us. The first thing you'll notice upon navigating to the Three Kings subreddit is a pinned post titled Rituals Index. After opening it, you'll discover dozens of rituals, anything from discovering your spirit animal and interacting with your subconscious mind, to summoning a spirit and protection rituals. You'll even find familiar rituals like Bloody Mary and Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board. After browsing the subreddit for a while, it became clear how many people took the rituals seriously. In fact, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of posts detailing individual experiences for a variety of rituals, most with supposedly paranormal results. With that said, it's now time to discuss my theories on the Three Kings ritual specifically. There are 3 theories I'm going to entertain. The first is that this ritual really is an entrance to, as Fable Forge describes it, a shadowside. This is, of course, the most exciting possibility, although most of the reasoning is based on the experience of those who tried the ritual firsthand. The idea of something supernatural being real is nothing new. People have speculated the existence of ghosts, entities, etc. for as long as the human race has been around. That said, there's really no proof of this being a real supernatural thing other than users sharing their own experiences. Of course, this is all dependent on personal belief. Someone who had successful results from the ritual could easily believe it's paranormal, just as someone else with a similar experience could believe it's all a trick of the subconscious mind. Which leads to my next theory, and the theory I'm most inclined to believe. Those who tried the Three Kings ritual and shared their experiences all detailed a very similar encounter involving voices and personal details specific to their lives. The fact that said voices would bring up insecurities, good and bad deeds, fears, etc. makes me think it was more of a subconscious thing than a paranormal thing. What makes this more believable is this theory is actually backed up by science, as per an article shared by Reddit user Arsenic. Italian psychologist Giovanni Caputo published an article explaining a visual illusion where one's reflection becomes distorted and shifts identity after staring at it for 1 minute or so. The details behind this visual illusion are intriguing to say the least, and I once again highly recommend following the link in the video description to learn more. But as it pertains to this video, what we can gather is the subconscious mind is a powerful thing. It's not so crazy to assume the Three Kings ritual, and rituals similar to it, will show results based on the ritual goer's subconscious thoughts. Likewise, if the ritual goer experiences no results, it's safe to assume they weren't as zoned into their subconscious thoughts as others who had more successful experiences were. My last theory is unlikely due to Fableforge's regular involvement in the Three Kings subreddit, but I need to mention it anyway in the face of transparency. There is obviously the chance Fableforge posted this ritual to promote their Shadowside RPG. They wouldn't be the first person to create something out of the ordinary in hopes of alluring potential customers or readers. With that out of the way, the sheer amount of users detailing their Three Kings experiences makes me more inclined to believe the subconscious mind theory. Even if Fableforge created this ritual as an advertisement or promotion ploy, it's safe to say many people still consider it real. And honestly, isn't it more exciting to believe the rituals have something to offer other than silence and disappointment? Either way, tell me your thoughts in the comments section. Hey guys! So, as you can probably guess, this is my first video ever posted to YouTube. I wanted to take a minute to explain my goals for this channel. Ideally, I'd like to post at least one video a week in the beginning. I want to cover anything related to internet mysteries, whether conspiracy theories, paranormal occurrences, or something else entirely. I get a lot of my inspiration from existing YouTube channels with similar topics and hope to someday collaborate with those channels. But in the meantime, please leave comments with feedback, ideas, or just your thoughts on the video topic. And don't forget to hit that subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.